Governments lie. Every government. To every people. But some lies are bigger than others. Some lies start wars. Some lies kill hundreds of thousands of people. Some lies destroy the basic trust between a government and the people it claims to serve. What follows are 5 times the United States government looked the American public directly in the eye, told them something they knew was false, and faced consequences so minimal they barely registered. Pay attention. Because understanding how these lies worked is the only protection against the next one. History is the story of official narratives colliding with eventual truth. The lie always seems convincing at the time. The institutions that should question it, the press, the opposition, the public, are usually too overwhelmed, too trusting, or too afraid to push back in the moment. The truth emerges years later, when the architects of the lie are retired, protected, or dead. By then, the damage is done. The war is over. The money is spent. The lives are lost. And the lesson is never learned. Lie number 1. The Gulf of Tonkin. On August 4, 1964, President Lyndon Johnson went on national television to tell the American people that North Vietnamese torpedo boats had attacked U.S. Navy destroyers in international waters. He used this attack to ask Congress for authorization to escalate military action in Vietnam. Congress gave it to him in what became known as the Gulf of Tonkin Resolution. The attack Johnson described on August 4 almost certainly never happened. The Pentagon Papers, released in 1971, confirmed the intelligence was fabricated. 58,000 American soldiers died in Vietnam. Millions of Vietnamese civilians died. The war cost over $840 billion in today's money. It fractured American society in ways that took a generation to begin healing. And it was authorized on the basis of an attack that did not happen. Secretary of Defense Robert McNamara admitted in 1995 that he had known the August 4 attack was doubtful at the time. He had said nothing. He told the nation a lie and watched 58,000 Americans die for it. He received the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Lie number 2. Weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. On February 5, 2003, Secretary of State Colin Powell presented evidence to the United Nations Security Council that Iraq possessed active weapons of mass destruction programs. He showed satellite images. He played audio recordings. He held up a vial of white powder. He said his evidence was solid and the intelligence was undeniable. Every claim he made was either false or grossly exaggerated. The weapons did not exist. The intelligence had been manipulated to support a conclusion that had already been reached. The Iraq War killed an estimated 150,000 to 450,000 people depending on the methodology used. It created the conditions that gave rise to ISIS. It destabilized an entire region from which it has not recovered 20 years later. It cost over $2 trillion. And it was started on intelligence that multiple people within the government knew was unreliable, overstated, or fabricated. The CIA analysts who correctly assessed that the WMD evidence was thin were sidelined. The ones who told the administration what it wanted to hear were promoted. Lie number 3. Watergate. On June 23, 1972, President Nixon's chief of staff H.R. Haldeman visited the Oval Office. The White House tape recordings captured what they discussed: how to use the CIA to obstruct the FBI's investigation into the Watergate break-in. Nixon had known about the break-in and its connection to his campaign from the beginning. For 2 years, he told the American public he had nothing to do with it. In 1974, when the tapes were finally released, the lie was undeniable. Nixon resigned 4 days later. He was later pardoned by his successor. Lie number 4. COINTELPRO. From 1956 to 1971, the FBI ran a massive covert program to destroy domestic political organizations the director considered threats. They wiretapped civil rights leaders. They sent forged letters to create conflict between groups. They tipped off violent white supremacists to the locations of civil rights workers. All of this while FBI directors were testifying before Congress that the Bureau was focused exclusively on fighting crime and communist espionage. The Senate Church Committee eventually proved the lie in 1975. No senior FBI official was ever prosecuted. Lie number 5. Iran-Contra. In 1986, it emerged that members of the Reagan administration had been secretly selling arms to Iran in violation of an arms embargo, and using the proceeds to illegally fund the Contra rebels in Nicaragua in violation of a congressional ban. When the story broke, President Reagan told the American public he had no knowledge of the diversion of funds. The Tower Commission investigation subsequently found he had approved the arms sales. 11 administration officials were convicted of various crimes. Most had their convictions overturned on appeal. None served significant prison time. The pattern across all 5 of these lies is identical. A false narrative is constructed and presented to the public and Congress with confidence and authority. The lie serves a specific political purpose and is told by people who know it is false. When the truth eventually emerges, it does so slowly, partially, and years too late to change the outcome the lie was designed to produce. The consequences for the liars are minimal. A resignation. A pardon. A memoir. A presidential library. The consequences for everyone else are measured in lives and trillions of dollars. Understanding that governments lie is not cynicism. It is a prerequisite for citizenship in a democracy. A democracy requires an informed public. An informed public requires a press willing to challenge official narratives. A press willing to challenge requires citizens who demand accountability and support journalists who deliver it. Every one of the lies described in this video was eventually exposed. Not by the government. By journalists, whistleblowers, and investigators who refused to accept the official story. The system works. But only when enough people demand that it does. This is the Redacted.